What's up, YouTube? It's Mike here, back with another video. We got a mixture of moving some fish, 600-gallon progress, plumbing progress. Before we get into it, I ask you to please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell for notifications on the channel. And if you like the video, please like the video. Before we jump into the 600-gallon progress, I wanted to show you guys something that I got. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace for 30 bucks. So I picked up this 120-gallon, I guess it's a 120 long, kind of, but it's a 5 foot 18 by like 23 or something like that, or 25, I forget, but it is a 120. But I picked that up as a project. I don't know if I'll get to it before or after I'm done with the 600, but basically I want to use that 120 as a sump, so it needs to be resealed. It's going to be kind of a pain, but I got it for 30 bucks. I figure it was worth it. I really want to clean up all this mess here and kind of consolidate, and I think if I take that 120 and put it the long way here, I can combine both of my sumps, my trickle towers, into that 120, kind of clean this up all back here. It'll also give me more room for storage underneath the stairs here, which I do plan on making a closet someday. So my goal is to really clean all this up. It looks horrible and I got wires going everywhere and stuff. So I want to consolidate both of those sumps and make them one. It'll make this one big system of a little over 500 gallons, and it'll make life way easier. I can just do water changes on one tank. I don't actually have to drain both tanks all the time, which isn't a huge big deal to drain both of them, but it's just easier to only have to shut off stuff for one. And I think it will also make for more stable conditions. Although these tanks stay pretty stable, they've been running for a long time. I like the idea of having them combined. You guys will see that come along. I'll put both these tanks basically on the same system. They end up being there all together as one body of water. So I wanted to show you guys that real quick. I picked that up this week. I didn't film any of picking it up, although it would have been entertaining to watch because I actually had to get that out of somebody's basement myself, and it was full of dirt and stuff. I had to shovel it out. I didn't feel comfortable filming it all, and I didn't have someone to help me film, so it would have been a little weird in somebody's house. But yeah, I pulled that out of somebody's basement myself, out of their bulkhead. It was a huge pain. But let's get into the 600 and get some progress done on that 600. So I started with doing the return manifold for the Ultima 2000, which will go to the 600, and this is kind of like just the process of putting some of that together here. Got most of my drain lines here ran, but my styrofoam's sticking out a little bit. It's got like an extra inch here, so I'm gonna cut a bunch of that out, and then I'm gonna nail in brackets kind of like right behind this leg here so you don't see them from the front, right into the OSB, the plywood top kind of thing. It's OSB. I'm just going to nail it in, just give it a little bit of something extra to help hold up from sagging and whatnot over time. So I'll do 2 of those, and then the return line I'm going to mount on the wall itself. So let's do this first though. And I realize it's a little ghetto, but it's also kind of unnecessary. So I don't love these fittings because they're not for pressure, so I was worried about having too much weight on that. So I just figured this is just something with one nail to take the pressure off of that fitting, and then of course this fitting, because when this is full it'll be a fairly heavy line. So I just don't want it moving, so it's better than nothing. I don't have many options here because the stand is steel. I don't have many options on how to really mount this easily. There are ways I could probably tap and mount, but I'm trying to avoid that. I just wanted to real quick and easy, and it's better than nothing. And this rack will be for the returns. These are actually nailed right into studs, so super strong. And I already made the decision to do soft lines to these, which you'll see in a second. So it'll kind of all make sense here. Now, keep in mind that the tank itself is on dollies right now, so this will be even a shorter, it'll be like a little less than 6 inches shorter of lines, soft lines to the tank, but they're fairly lined up. Obviously still have to screw these in, and then I have, this will be the end of my line to the very last bulkhead, to this one here. Sorry, I'm kind of cramped back here. So I just got to do one more little gluing here and have this all set. I went back and forth about how I was going to do this return. There's no easy way. I'm trying to not create too much back pressure, but I don't think I can really avoid it. So overpowered pump will take care of that, and we should be able to easily adjust kind of like which bulkheads get more pressure, because I know that the one on the end here is going to get the most with how this is designed. So we've got a ball valve here which is going to control each one. So ball valve, this ball valve will control the flow of both of these two, and then so forth. We've got one after each one there to control the kind of how much flow each one gets. So it's kind of the best I could come up with for this kind of system. Kind of sucks. I'd like to hardline these in, but it just really isn't practical. It would be extremely difficult. I could do it, it's just I honestly don't want to. It'd be really, really difficult to hardline all that in, and I just don't think it's necessary. So this also makes it a lot easier to detach it all. If I ever need to detach it all in the future, it would be super simple. So that's why I went in like this. And also I wanted to mention that if I decide to slide the tank one way or the other, I can't decide if I want to push the tank all the way to the filtration or if I want to come like really close up against the 1100. I haven't decided yet, but once I decide, I've got a lot of wiggle room on this that I can slide it back and forth with to get it into the right position. So that's why I did it this way. Pretty much good to go for the Ultima. Obviously, the end plumbing will have to be done once the tank is dropped down and in its place where it's going to stay. So I got to wait on that. But this is pretty much it for this 2000, for the Ultima 2000 here. So I'm just doing a little bit of maintenance down here in the fish room, doing water changes and whatnot, doing water changes on pretty much everything. And it's time now, I've been thinking about it for a few days now, to move this guy over to the 1500, this Florida Gar, with the other Gar. I think he's going to do really well in there. Plus, he needs the space. This tank needs the space, so time to move him over. I'm going to be moving that big girl over eventually too. But I got some smaller fish in there that I've got to move out of there first before I can move her. So for now, let's just move this Florida Gar over. Hopefully he didn't hurt himself there. Here's a couple little updates on the 1500 for starters. So as you guys saw, we moved over this big Florida Gar who has been doing great in here. I gotta clean this front glass still. I've been saying that for weeks. I just haven't done it. But the tank looks phenomenal. I do have to really think about moving this Phantom over to the 1100. Unfortunately, he's just gotten so big so quick. I'm worried he's going to eat the Tigrinus. Like, I'm really, really worried he's going to eat the Tigrinus. So I think I got to move him out sooner rather than later. So maybe next week we'll do a little Phantom update video, and we'll get a good measurement on him lengthwise.
That's what she said.
And then we will put him into the 1100. Kind of sucks. I don't really want to crowd the 1100 too much right now, but I kind of got to at least temporarily. And an update on the 1100 real quick. Obviously this guy got out. He got out about, like, I think it was 9 days after I put him in, and then he jumped back in like a day later. He was like back in there for like 3 days, and then he got back out. But we're gonna leave him for now. But so far, at least the big female ray has got to heal up for her wounds from this male. That's a good thing. And again, I think I'll probably have to put him back eventually, but we will see. So I will be moving the Phantom Red-tailed cat to this tank sooner than I had hoped, unfortunately, but he just grew so quick. And it'll make it easier to feed this tank too, because he's just eating all the food. I think he's over 18 inches long. I'm like pretty confident he's over 18 inches long at this point. I'm just blown away by him. But I don't want to do too much on him this video. We'll make the whole next video about him. Maybe a little bit of updates on the 600 as well, but most of the video will be about moving that guy. Back in the outro spot. I think we will have a lot more progress done next week on the 600. I hope to have it off of the dollies by next week. That's kind of the goal, is like have it down on the ground, be ready to fill it. All the patches are done. It should already hold water in theory, so we'll get to test fill it hopefully in a week or so, start adding water to that thing and see how it goes. Hopefully I've done a good job on the bulkheads and my patches. We don't have any problems. But anyway, I thank you guys again for watching. I ask you to please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell for notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Off the Deep End Aquatics, and I will see you guys in that next video. Thanks.